What's going on, you guys? Venom has been an ultimate fan favorite anti-hero in the Spider-Man universe. Really, this trilogy has given us a lot of roller coaster, teases, twisters, and yes, a whole bunch of letdowns. Today, we're diving into Venom, The Last Dance, the grand finale of the trilogy. It might leave you with more questions than answers. Have you seen it yet? Out of the 3 films, which one did you enjoy the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious. It's just me and one of the mini mods today, and let me tell you, he loved it way more than I did, but hey, he likes what he likes, and I'm never mad about that. And remember, this review is spoiler free to make sure it's a story you want to see. And just a little bit of caveat at the end, we are going to give a little bit of spoilers, but we'll let you know before we get there. So if you want to go in completely blind, we got you. So without further ado,
let's check it out.
Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
Venom, The Last Dance. It's the 3rd installment, wraps up the trilogy, and it kicks off Eddie Brock back in Mexico, kind of directly from Venom 2 where we left off at. He's actually a suspect, now trying to clear his name from the previous incidents. And as things are trying to settle down and he's really on the run most of the time, there's another powerful entity that enters the spotlight, and this is where my heart starts to ache a little bit. The tone and feel are very reminiscent of the 2 films, and of course, I just feel like when you have a wrap-up, this is where you want to kind of throw everything at the wall. And one thing the director wanted to include was to make sure that Knull was a character that hasn't even scratched the surface yet, but he was portrayed and generally felt like he was going to be the big bad leading up to this film. And you could see that foundation being set up, but what didn't really hit the mark here? Tom Hardy's back. You know, he's going to really pour his heart into portraying Venom. He embodies what this character represents in this universe based off of what they built up previously. Of course, he's going to get our MVP, but with director Kelly Marcel coming, who was the writer of the first 2 films, and it feels like the studio was just ticking a couple boxes to make sure that they met their contract agreement. So Noah needs something from Venom, and he's trapped in another dimension. The film follows Brock and Venom as they grapple with the dilemma and its fallout. And of course, you have to sprinkle in the side plots, the other symbiotes, and the character arcs behind that, and feels a little unnecessary at times. But ultimately, it's the last chapter that leads us into the story that provides a very distant future, even teased us again with these Spider-Man Easter eggs, and honestly, it just doesn't really truly feel like it's gonna lead to nowhere. Visually, Venom looks fantastic on screen. The CGI is pretty decent overall. There's occasional CW effects, there, but when it works, it really does. The first half of the film is all about the build-up, but the payoff doesn't really match, and it feels a little bit lackluster. After following this character for 8 years, it really feels like there are going to be some grand plans for Venom, but somewhere along the line, everything narrowed down into its own realm. It's like, are we even still getting the Sinister Six anymore? Or even some of the teases with Venom in New York, it feels like it's dangling right in front of us, but they don't want to push it or take that next leap forward. Minimod really loved the film, claiming that it really gave him vibes of other movies, and he enjoys seeing Venom on screen just like I do. I like seeing these Spider-Man characters come to life, but when you do look at the other string of Spider-Man line and movies, you just wish that maybe we could get something in that same type of vibe.
I like the first Venom because I get to see way more Venom than the 3rd one. What I liked about the movie is the fighting scenes and when Venom can turn into animals.
The character work for Venom is solid. He's entertaining. The world around him is decent enough, but when it comes to the rest of the cast, there's just no real connection or cohesion behind it. I could honestly care less about the exposition that they were throwing at us, and wait, this is still a Venom movie, right? Just checking. The ending kind of gave me like Iron Man 3 vibes. Like, there's a lot of spectacle, sure, but did the payoff actually feel satisfying? There wasn't any moments that were gonna leave you like chewing on it for a couple days, or really when the movie honestly ended, I was like, oh, that's it? Oh, okay, all right. Meanwhile, Minimod loved it, and it all comes down to perspective, right? And when you're looking in these superhero stories, everyone sees something differently. But for me, this one definitely lands at the bottom of the trilogy list.
It reminded me of Stranger Things because, as you know, the symbiote hunter reminded me of the Demogorgon. and they both had lots of similarities. Something I would change about the movie is probably the ending to make it a lot more fun instead of like boring and slow.
I never walk into a movie with low expectations, especially when it's part of a trilogy that holds a small nostalgic place in my heart. Like Venom 1 and 2, I generally enjoyed those. They're okay films for me. Sure, it's tucked away in a corner, but it's there ultimately. But the Venom Last Dance, it just didn't come through 100%. You do expect some type of grand finale for a trilogy, or at least something planned for the next step. It missed the mark. Yes, you got two different studios, two different characters, but they are still same line of that Spider-Man universe. The comparisons, they're inevitable. And honestly, this one just didn't cross the finish line for me. But what you guys have all been waiting for, what do we give our official rating for Venom The Last Dance? Safe for stream.
Girls, I'll stream on Netflix.
All right, you guys, just a small warning, spoiler warning. Just want to give a quick rundown and thoughts on the wrap-up of Venom. All right, real quick, the ending. Venom essentially sacrifices himself for Brock, wielding this piece of the symbiote tech. I believe it's called like Codex, okay. And it really, they were in an Area 51 type place. I think it was actually called Area 51. And you have your, of course, CGI showdown that saves Brock and supposedly the whole universe. But honestly, it felt rushed. There were so many loose ends hanging where you introduced all these brand new symbiotes. Absolutely zero sense of direction whatsoever. Are we going to get Toxin? Psych. Or at least that's not the Toxin that I thought we were going to see. And just like number 2, how is the post-credit scene the most interesting and intriguing thing of the entire movie? Again, wild. Noah's this dark, sinister character should have really been the main villain, and yet he's more of a setup for something bigger. It was like, here, I set him up, now you guys bring him on home. And to be real with you, it could honestly be its standalone movie without even seeing the first two. It wouldn't really make huge of a difference. Yeah, some characters wouldn't be as known, but again, there wasn't really too much investment behind it. So the number one issue that these Spider-Man Sonyverse movies, aside the Into the Spider-Verse, of course, has always been the falling flat of the villains. And unfortunately, we're stuck with the same situation here. And something else, just in my mind, in my stomach, I really wish we got a little Mordo like variant tease. Maybe we did. Maybe I just missed it. But about halfway through, I wasn't invested anyway. The movie really didn't pick up until later on. So again, sorry for my small mini rant. I'm unsupervised. Miss Maud's not here. She'll be back after vacation. But I genuinely want these MCU movies to do good. And with having the Sonyverse or any type of competition, it's really going to always step up the whole industry. But when you have them putting out stuff like this doesn't push anybody at this point. All right, now it's your guys' turn. What do you guys think about the film? Did you guys enjoy the trilogy as a whole? Where do you want to see Venom pop up next? Tom Hardy's already expressed interest in reprising the role and definitely leaves the door open for him to join the fray anywhere else. Maybe Secret Wars, Spider-Man 4. But it just feels like Sony is still juggling their decisions really on all aspects of when it comes to the Sonyverse. But at this time of this video goes live, I'm pretty sure we'll have a little bit more clarity at that point. So as always, thank you guys for taking your time to hang out with us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe. That's the best way to support us on this journey and bring us you guys some more reviews. So we appreciate you all. Tell someone you love them. We will check you guys in the next one.
Bye.